Customers have expressed their dissatisfaction with the fact that Mike Wolfe, a star of the television show American Pickers, has been selling his products rather than antiques at his shop in Iowa. Michael, who is 58 years old, is the proprietor of Antique Archaeology, which has storefronts in both LeClaire, Iowa, and Nashville, Tennessee. According to information that is exclusively available to the United States Sun, Mike has been criticized by clients for selling goods from his business rather than authentic antiques. Regarding the Iowa business, a dissatisfied consumer recently said the following on Google reviews. Seriously, there was only a handful of items that had the potential to be picked. The remainder of it consisted of low-cost products with a Chinese brand that was utilized to advertise the business. Yeah, I get that it's a tourist trap, but come on, show some more creativity than that. In the event that it was something really remarkable, I would have invested hundreds of dollars in it without hesitation. Instead, it was like 3 products that had been selected which ranged from $200 to $4,000. This is more of a souvenir shop for the show, said a second client who arrived at the establishment. Really not a lot of antiques at all. A third person said, I was quite dissatisfied. We chose this particular route specifically for the purpose of having this experience, and we made this a special stop on our way home. Both of these buildings are somewhat modest in size and mostly consist of gift stores that sell their own products. As a keepsake, I grabbed an item that was worth $3 but ended up charging $9 for it. Where exactly is it, considering how much Mike and the crew have chosen to pick? It was wonderful to see you in person, said a fourth individual. Regrettably, the only thing that was available for purchase was swag. There were a lot of intriguing things, but they were not for sale. The staff was very pleasant. If you're a fan of pickers, this is a great place to stop, stated the fifth person. Aside from that, it's nothing more than a retail store that sells a lot of items that is imprinted with a company's name and a few whimsical antiques. A number of things, including antique archaeology mugs, tote bags, teas, magnets, towels, and other swag, may be seen in photographs that have been posted on the store's Instagram account. Objects such as old bicycles, signage, instruments, and other objects are examples of antiques that may be found. CUSTOMARSWAREPLEACANT. A few clients, however, expressed their satisfaction with the antique shop, stating, "It is such a wonderful place to go. From the moment we stepped in, we immediately started pointing out the products that we had seen them choose on the program. All of the staff members were really polite and helpful." A second person said, "I really adored it. Exceptionally beautifully presented. There were a few things that I saw while watching the performance. An abundance of mementos and trinkets." According to the third person, loved viewing the store. There are certain locations that are set out in a manner that is similar to what you would see if you went picking in an old barn or garage. In addition, fun mementos. If only Mike had been able to make it to the party. During the forthcoming season of American Pickers, viewers will get the opportunity to examine the shop from the inside. Mike shared a video on his Instagram account earlier this week, which was taken outside of the Iowa business, with the comment, "At Antique Archaeology to the AI. Currently filming with the American Picker at Daniela Colby. At the moment, I am dressed up like an elderly guy. At Visit LeClaire. FRANKFRICZFINDSOUTIT. In addition to being Mike's former co-star, Fritz is also the proprietor of an antique shop in Savannah, Illinois, that is named Fritz Finds. The evaluations, on the other hand, are not very encouraging, as the United States Sun has reported in the past that consumers have complained about the unfriendly service and the unimpressive antiques. In December of 2022, a consumer said the following on Google reviews. It was supposed to open at 10 in the morning. According to another worker, the lights were not on when we entered the building, and the antique saleswoman provided us with access to the antique sales, which are not heated, so it is important to be prepared during the winter months. There was a respectable quantity of genuine antiques that were offered at prices that were affordable. Certainly a mess to be found. It was a crew that was Some time ago, another individual remarked, "I was a huge fan of the show. In order to show my support for Frank, and to find out what all the excitement was about, I dropped by. The apartment seemed to be a scene from an episode of Hoarders. The staff was impolite. It is only disheartening. How is this location doing in terms of business?" A third individual voiced their dissatisfaction, stating, "Nothing but costly trash. The employees are impolite. Don't throw away the money you've worked so hard to obtain." EMERGENCINFRANKSHELTH. At July of 2022, Frank, who was 57 years old, had a stroke at his house in Iowa. On August 18, Frank's close friends submitted a request for an immediate appointment of a temporary guardian and conservator for the celebrity, stating that the stroke had affected his ability to make decisions. The last time Frank appeared on American Pickers was in an episode that aired in March of 2020. He had taken a break from the show in order to recuperate from back surgery, which resulted in his receiving 185 stitches and 2 rods in his spine. During the interview that took place in 2021 with the United States Sun, Frank, who had been terminated from the program, disclosed his animosity with his co-star Mike. According to Frank, "I haven't spoken to Mike in the past 2 years. Despite the fact that he was aware that my back was infected, he did not contact me to inquire about how I was doing. But that is the way things are. Everything is stacked in his favor 100% of the time. For the sake of demonstrating how much I can't even bend down that far." Okay, that's all right. The situation is similar to that of Aerosmith, with Steven Tyler serving as the band's frontman. In this case, I found my place on the show. I'm now in second place, just behind him. I don't have an issue with it, but it's possible that he does have a problem. In fact, he went so far as to state, "I believe Mike is trying to get his brother Robbie in there to have me replaced. I am really perplexed as to why he is acting in such a manner towards me." Let's see, Maury, FRINDS. The Quad City Times was informed by a friend that Frank and Mike came together for a bittersweet reunion during the course of Memorial Day weekend. It was not at all a quarrel between Mike and Frank, according to the friend who said it. They did not engage in a quarrel. They needed time apart in order to really appreciate one another. After 11 seasons of working 10-hour days, 7 days a week on the reality TV program, the buddy stated that the connection between the lifelong friends got tight to the point that it became strained. In the course of their long-awaited reunion, she reported to the press that both Mike and Frank were overcome with emotion. In addition to revealing that both were crying, the buddy went on to say that Mike brought up how nervous they both were to be going on David Letterman, which was one of their first major performances. Mike reminded his former co-star, Frank, that "Nobody can replace you, Frank," while also conceding that it was Frank's uniquely funny personality that contributed to the fact that they worked so well together over the 11 years that they spent producing the program. Following Frank's statement to the friend, "I need to talk to Mike," the friend decided to phone the television personality on Mother's Day in order to take the necessary steps to make the necessary preparations. Mike really emphasized all of the good times they had before the show and during the show, the source said following the conclusion of the conversation. Mike did say he'd like Frank back on the show, but Frank is focused on his health.